Hello. Let me welcome you to my studio. I'm Julie Torrens. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So we're going to make some tags, and in one of my prior videos, I put where we took boxes like this and cut them down. So I'm not going to show you that again, but we're going to be working on a pizza box like this. But I went ahead and I already took it apart so that I can use these two pieces, which are big. Now, they're not 12 by 12, but they're about 11 and a half by 11 and a half. I did measure them out. So we're not going to be able to do like 3 inches, but it doesn't matter. They don't have to be such a specific size. I have a dictionary. This was one of my most recent finds from the thrift store. It came just like this, cover off, and I did tear out some pages, and I've got obviously more if I need to. But you can even see as I tore out of different places the different colors. So I just love this. I love the foxing, how dark, and just it was, pretty complete, I think, other than the cover, but yeah, it's good. So you may want to know how old it is. That'd be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? If I can do this quickly. Okay, so this one is the August of 1986 is the most recent of its printing of this one. So there we go. The copyright is 1984. So we got this. I'm going to keep it close. I have my glue sticks. I also have my art glitter glue in case something is just giving me an extra hard time to stick down. I have a smoothing thing. I've got my stickles and my, these perfect pearls, I think it's called, let me see, liquid pearls. I've got that. That can be fun to work on. I got a couple of sprays. This one is a Tim Holtz spray, and it is crushed pistachio, cracked pistachio. And then this one is a Diane Reevely Dilutions. And this one is a Virant turquoise. So I just thought that would be fun, but I want this more to be neutral than I do a lot of color, but I have to have some color and everything. So I've got that. I've got some stamps and some ink, and I've got some of the ephemera that I made. And then I'm still working out of some old 12 by 12 paper pads. We're going to maybe use some of that. And I have this, I don't know how well you can see it, maybe this way. I have this, now I got this years and years ago from Amazon. I can't tell you anything about it. It's a no name for sure, but it has kind of these rings and it's got some splats. So I thought that maybe we'll use it, maybe not. You just don't know, but I've got it out. So that's pretty much the supplies that I have out. I've got my trimmer. So this has 2 sheets. So we'll start out with one. Now this pizza, when you buy it, comes wrapped in cellophane. And so there's not grease. I'm always cautious for using this kind of food wrappings because if there's grease spots, then, you're going to have a hard time getting your adhesives to want to stick. Even gesso won't always help. This side is very shiny. I'm not going to cover it with anything. I'm just going to see what my tags look like. If they look awful, I can still back them with something. But, the reason why I'm using something like this is because I want to repurpose, reuse. And if I just do it as if it's not there, well, then I've kind of defeated that purpose. I do have just a regular old ruler in case I want to tear off some of these edges. And I'll show you what I mean. Turned it the wrong way. In case I want to get rid of some of these margins. Kind of like that. Oh, yoy. It's so old. It's so slippery. That's why I wasn't sure I'd be doing it, and I have a feeling I'm not. We're just going to probably use them as is, but I am going to at least tear them in half. And this feels like it could be 2 sheets, and I believe it is. So let's see if I can separate them. Yeah, it's definitely 2 sheets. So that might have been the problem in trying to get it to come apart. So let's start gluing these down and see what it's going to look like. I've got my glue book. So I'm going to be using just glue stick to start out with, and we'll just see how that goes. But my past experience, if it's anything like that, it'll be fine. So this glue stick's new. Let's finish up an old one. Yep. Okay. So how are you? What is happening in your world? We've got beautiful sunny spring weather. It was cold this morning. Well, see, it's tearing. This is fragile, but that's what kind of makes it look cool. And I'm not going to worry about that tear. I am just going to, well, I'll put it here because it might be a little hard to get nice and smooth on the corner. Yeah, that's good. You can always pick a different one for the corner. And I don't care if they're upside down, right side up, but I'm probably not going to put them catty corner. I'm just oh, now I've got both glue sticks going. I'm just kind of in a horizontal or vertical mood, I guess. Yep, it is that we're coming to the end of spring. The weekend coming up is Memorial Day weekend. So that's a holiday here in the U.S. I'll be, my work schedule won't change, but you know, being a nurse, I don't really expect it to change. And that's fine. How about you? Are you going to get a spring holiday or a, really, Memorial Day is kind of the unofficial start of summer here. Like where I'm living, the pool's going to open. Will we be able to swim in it? In Michigan? No telling. I don't think it'll be snowing, but it certainly may not be warm enough to swim. Just don't know. Hard to know. How about you? Where you're at? Are the pools open already? Have they started to... There's been days that it sure felt like you might be able to swim, but the thing is, when the nights are so cold, that water's going to be cold. So you can't always just go by the ambient temperature, can you? Because the water is still affected by what the temperature was at night. And I'm a baby. I don't like to go and do one of those jumping in the pool and you just practically stop your heart because it's so cold. That's not enjoyable to me. That's torture. So, yeah, not going to be doing any of that. At least not that I'm aware of. Of course, if a child jumped in and was in trouble, well, I'll jump through ice if I have to take care of something like that. But let's not even think that way. But those polar bear clubs, oh, I think it would stop my heart. I do. I just, can't imagine. That's not just something that's come with my age. That's been my whole life. I've never been interested in that kind of a jolt. No, thank you. No, no more. Never was. Never was interested in that. When I was growing up, I lived near Lake Erie, which is one of the Great Lakes. I'm going to go ahead and be generous in keeping my glue book clean because this is so fragile. But the lake water, if you knew what the temperature was overnight, if it got down in the 50s at night, it's very possible that lake would still be in the 50s. Even if it's warmer outside, it could be 80 outside. But that lake is going to be cold. So, all right, so I can see I've got some little spaces, and I'm overlapping a little, and I really don't care. Okay, that glue stick is way down. I don't want to play with that. I don't care if it overlaps because, again, this paper, it's thin. I wouldn't say it's onion skin, but it was made thin. And then, you know, age hasn't been necessarily kind to it. So it's definitely fragile. So if we've got some kind of overlapping, I think it'll just help the integrity of the whole piece when we're done. So why am I making tags again? Well, a couple things. I've got a birthday coming up that I have to go to, and I like to stick a tag. My birthday gift, and it's a gentleman. It's going to be a book. So these make great bookmarks, and I think they're just fun to put into a card. I'm going to make a card, but if I wasn't going to make a card, I still like to put a tag in, but my tags are down. What did we just, baby dedication, Easter, that took up some of my tags. And then I had just recently finished, you can find it in my playlists, where I made a junk journal, kind of a junk journal / art journal. And so I had tucked some tags in there for fun. So yeah, I've been using them up, and that's what they're for. And again, I don't have a great big tub of pre-made ephemera ahead, but I don't know. I like to keep my ephemera and my things like my tags, or things like postcard, that size of thing, things that I can write on the back and use as a thank you note. I like to keep some on hand, that's for sure. I think it's very handy. So if this overhangs a little bit, that's okay. But if it's a little bit shy, I'm going to be inking up the edges so we can kind of mask that out. Now these two marry right up together, so I'm not going to put those together like that. Put it somewhere else. So I want to have this neutral background. I want it to kind of have a voice. I don't want it to necessarily just blend away. I want it to be, you know, kind of an integral part of the whole piece. So I don't plan to just completely cover it up or obliterate it, not at all. I think it can be interesting. I think it can be fun. You'd be amazed at, when you put something together like this, how much people actually pay attention and read what you have going on. They really do. And that's fun. That's just real fun. Anything that can keep people engaged in your art is success to me. That is great. When someone just looks at it and just sets it aside, that's when I'm a little bit disappointed. But when they're like, oh, wait, what does this say? Oh, look, she's got something over here or over there. See, that engagement is what I'd like to see when somebody is looking at my work. And this is going fast, huh? I think so. Put a piece in here. Have you been making some tags? We did some paper doll tags. What fun was that? I even got another one started because instead of putting away the leftovers from that project, I went ahead and started another one because that was a lot of fun. That's also going to be in a playlist, but it's on my channel. You can look it up, where I made some doll tags, and they're just cute. I think they're cute. They had a pretty positive response from folks, so that's good. If you like my videos, it helps me so much. I'm a new to YouTube creator, and so the engagement, likes, comments really helps me, and I would love it if you would consider even, I'm sorry, I'm concentrating, if you would even consider subscribing to my channel. That helps me a lot. So this is my first piece that's kind of not a square or a rectangle, and that is totally fine. I'm just working here on the edge. And once we cut it out, the pattern of it all is not going to be as significant. Now I'm going to have to trim this, obviously, but that's okay. Don't mind that a bit. This is just a little bit more of an exposed edge than I would like. I mean, like I said, I'm going to ink up the edges, which will help, but up there, it just almost looks like I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm going to tuck something on here that will just help that corner a little bit. Okay, how are we doing? I think it looks fine. Everything feels like it's stuck down good. Okay, so there's step one, huh? Great. Didn't even use all that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, not a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and give some squirts or some splats of this ink. And I'm trying to push it slow. Yeah, just like that. That's it. And it's splattery and it's dotty, and I want that. I think that is a positive thing for this. This one's even dottier, which is good. Because I don't want to change the overall color. There. Okay, that's plenty. All right, let me just grab a baby wipe so that I can just get this ink up from the overspray. There's always more overspray than you think. But if you get it right away, it tends not to create such a difficult time in cleaning it up. Okay. Let me get my paper towels here and just give it a dry. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take my paper towel and just roll it over. Look, I'm not even getting any because that old paper is plenty absorbent, which is fine. Just fine. Okay, so I'm done with the inks. I'm not going to do any more with those, so I'm just going to get them out of the way. And let's continue. Got my ink pad, and I've got a few stamps. But before I stamp on here, and like this is just like we're making a kind of like a master, what do you guys call those? Like a master board or collage board like that. Now I'm going to go in here with the brown, which is the vintage photo. And I just want to put a few of these in, and they're going to be faint, and that's okay. I'm using this is just a cosmetic sponge, see? Just to kind of lend to the age of the book and all that there might have been some splats and some splotches, and I just think that's cool. I did give this a bit of a turn so they're not looking all identical. But I want to get a couple of these on here because, again, I'm going to be cutting them apart. So you're not going to see an established pattern or anything like that. And let's do one more. I think that looks fun. Good. Okay. Now I've got some other kind of splats and splotches, and I'm just going to use the same pad, and I'm going into one of the, I think this is either kind of a gray or a black. And I'm just going to do one of these splats and do this splat. Just get some of these going. Good, good. I think it's looking kind of grungy or, you know, kind of used. Like maybe this was on someone's blotter and they had their coffee and who knows what they were all doing. We don't know. Maybe put some over here. Whatever stencil you have. And if you don't have a stencil, don't worry about it. We're going to be doing plenty of other things on this paper. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm using. Far from it. Far, far from it. Okay. How about a little bit more here? And even if this moves a little bit in the process, well, that's all right. It's a splat for crying out loud, right? Like that. All right, I'm going to get one right up here. I tend to miss the corners. I tend to work too much on the edges, or the middle, and I forget the edges and especially the corners. And then when I'm continuing on, I think, well, what happened here? All right, I think that's enough of that. But while I've got the ink out, I've also got some stamps. And I'm going to grab those guys. Now, this one is just some script writing, and it's French. So I'm going over here, and this is another one of those kind of grayish, blackish colors. And I'm just going to put some in here. I really don't care of the stamping quality. I just want to get some more writing, words, whatever on here. Get another one here. Head to the corner and head to the edge. Okay, same kind of a deal, but this one is music notes. So I'm just going to lay it right over, and I don't know if you can see, I'm just laying it right over 2 inks. And we're going to give that a go and see what we get. Fine. You probably can hardly see that because the wording is already so busy. But that's okay. That's good. One more. Oh, I'm having a hard time picking it up. Up here. Alrighty. That's good. I'm done with these two. And I've got my little block here. And I've got some little gears that I think are fun. I'm going to go back to the brown color. Don't know why, I just am. Give it a couple of these. I know we're not supposed to pound. I am not a stamper. That is for sure. But for this application, I think I do just fine. Thank you very much. Put one way down here in this corner. Put one way up here in this corner. Okay. What do you think? I think it looks nice and busy. Sure. Yeah, I think we're going to call that done with the stamps for now anyway. We'll get this out of the way. So what have we got? We've got dictionary paper, a couple of squirts of ink. You could use watercolors. You could use any number of things. I got some you know, this is like cursive writing, script writing. And I've also got some music notes in there. So yeah, that's nice and busy. I think that looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna glue in. Is this coming up? Get the glue stick. And as you find things like this, yeah, just tack them down. It's all part of it. Sorry, I'm sniffing. Okay, so I've got this ephemera that I made, and I'm just going to stick a few of these down here and there, just for still thinking background, not foreground. And I'm not going to go too crazy with them, but you know, if there's a little piece on here and there, I think that could look really cool. So let's see how this goes. And I'm still using just my glue stick. I think that's going to be just fine. You know, I'm not thinking about this as being archival, something that someone's going to want to keep for years and years. Not at all. If I did, I would probably use art glitter glue or even gel matte medium. But for one thing, all of my gel medium is matte, and I've got some pearlized on this ephemera. I've got some metallic, and all of that would be lost if I put a matte product on top. So I'm going to avoid that if I can. Here's another one. I made these with magazine pages, and I just put acrylic paint in stripes or whatever the mood hit me. And then I worked on top with acrylic paint, some of it with a brush, some of it with some Posca markers, just a little of everything. And so I like it. I tend not to buy a lot of ephemera. I like to repurpose and reuse as much as possible, but I never say never. I do use ephemera. Most of the ephemera I have like that is from paper pads, that it came in a paper pads. And as I said before, I haven't bought a paper pad in at least 5 years. So that's how long. I've probably got about 3 or 4 in my stash, and they're disappearing slow but sure. And I mean, I'll buy more. I don't do digis because I don't have a printer, and I understand the idea. I think they're, you know, I think they're a fine way, and I've seen beautiful work done where people did it with their digis, but the idea of, well, you can use it over and over, I like fresh. I don't picture myself at this time doing the same thing over and over. And they're not free. You know, you buy the digis, rightfully so. They're not overpriced. I'm not saying that at all. And then you're buying the paper, you're buying the ink. Well, I'm using magazines that, you know, I buy, if they're not my own catalog or something, then I'm buying them from the library for a dime. And do you know how much I can make out of a dime magazine? A lot, of course. So again, I'm just putting these on here, there, to try to just add some interest to the background. You do need to use a good glue stick. I have found that the glue sticks from the dollar store are more child-friendly. Not that that's bad, far from it, but they're more designed that if a child glues something to the wall or the dining room table, there's a lot better chance of getting it off than a glue stick that I have that is really, once it's dried good, it's supposed to stay. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is just grab a couple more. I've got one oval and one circle. That's fine. And I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it in half and put some, whoop, I'm trying to pick up what's not to be picked up, and just put it on some of the edges. I think that can always look nice, just to have something falling over the edges. So if you say, well, you know, we've done the tags before. Well, not like this. every time I do these kinds of things, again, maybe it's my, lack of concentration or whatever it is about me, but I don't like to do the same thing twice very often. I mean, I may do a project, like making tags, but my first set of tags of the week are not going to be like my second tags of the week, and not going to be like my third tags of the week. I like to change things up, use different products, use different techniques. Maybe the next set of tags will be primarily watercolor, or maybe they'll be primarily some type of marker, or you just don't know. But I don't often, I'll put this way down here. I don't often just make repeats. I like variety. Okay, so we've got now this ephemera, and we're kind of ready to start cutting. What do you think? I think what I'm going to do is just turn this over and give these edges a trim of the parts that I have that reached over the edge a little bit. I don't want to fold them over. I just want to trim them up. Got a little more down here. And that's fine. Okay. So I'm going to cut these kind of in half. Won't be perfect. And then I'm going to cut them into the tags. So that's the next step. So let's give it a cut. And so my words are going this way, either upside down or right side up. So I'm going to cut it this way for the half. And like I said, it's about 11 and some. So 6 is going to be a little too much, so I'm just doing 5 and some. That looks good. That looks fine. And now I'm going to go ahead. That came out correct. So this is showing me about 11 and a half. All right, so try 8 and a half. And let's do maybe 4 and a little bit. And we'll see. Let's just see what that gives us. One might be more of the size of a postcard, and that's fine. This one didn't quite get cut through, but there we go. We can manage it. Let's get some scissors here, and I'm just going to trim off this little bit. Okay. Okay, so we've got these. And now maybe I'll make these just a little bit skinnier. So I'll go with the 3 again. And then I'm going to go maybe here. And then I'll kind of do this one in half. So I got 3 on one side and I got 4 on the other. And there we go. Okay, let's see what we got. What does it look like? So I'm going to make it so the words are upright for the most part. I mean, I do have some upside down and right side up, but for the most part. Now this one is, I'm going to treat this more like a postcard than I am. And I may, because it's so big, I may back it up. This is still tag size as far as I'm concerned. These two are both about the same. So I'm going to set those aside and we'll make tags out of these. So we're going to get 5 tags. I think that's great. Okay. Well, we got to do the tag tops. This one is more upright this way. Okay, so I'm going to cut the corners. I'm very interested if you make tags, or maybe there's an artist on YouTube that you think makes fantastic tags. Please go ahead and let me know, and I will definitely look them up. I sure will. Okay, well, that's really off. I think I'm better off to just do it this way, because they're different sizes, so they don't necessarily want to come out the same. Tag number 2. Do you make tags? Do you use tags? Do you enjoy them? How do you use them? Do you use them as kind of to from on a gift package, or do you pop them in the mail? You have to admit they're fun. I guess you don't have to, but I just can't imagine that someone wouldn't think that a tag isn't fun. And I guess I like them because they do have kind of a practical use. They really, really do. Concentrating, and then there goes my talking, right? Okay, so now we've got our 5 tags. This can go in there. Okay, I'm liking this really well. So how else am I going to decorate it? Well, I've got some words. I've got some small ephemera that are kind of my cutouts. I've got some others that I'll show you too that I thought I would use. This was in one of my paper pads, and it's all cameras. But I thought, well, that could look pretty going, running down a tag. And then I've got these ovals, which I've used before. This one came kind of out of a sewing theme, but I think these they're like little silhouettes in ovals. And I think we could cut a few of those out. So I really wasn't sure what we were going to do. I think for these cameras, though, I'm going to get the trimmer back up here. And let's move our tags. I like the way the colored ephemera came out on those. I like the way it showed up. Okay, so first I'm going to take off this. I want to call it a manufacturing strip, but it's really not because the manufacturer's not on it. Okay, so first I'm going to cut these cameras that are apart. I'm not going to throw them away, but I'm just going to take these off. And then I want to make a strip of these cameras, because I think that could look just great on a tag or two. So let's see what we can do with that. So not throwing anything away. But look. So I'm going to cut this top camera off because it's just not showing there. Well, that's about as crooked as you can get. Okay, that's better. So maybe 3 cameras. I think that would be nice. Good, good. And then what I'm going to do, I've got, and I'm reaching, corner punch. And I'm just going to punch the corners on this. Okay. I like that. Yes, I like that a lot. I'm going to bring it down just a little. Now we've got a lot going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully my art glitter glue will cooperate, and I'm going to put it on with it. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Let's put, whoop, upside down. Yeah, not too far off the bottom. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm looking for my smoother. Who would have think that I'd have a mess? There we go. All right, now I like that. I need to get a new one of these, and I'm going to get the ink pad out. We may not get all of these decorated, but at least I'll get some so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go into the, because it's mostly browns, I'm going to go into the vintage photo. Can't think and ink at the same time. Yeah, vintage photo. And this is archival. This is not, it's the distressed colors. It is not just the distressed or the oxides. This is the, like the Adirondack kind that's archival. Well, this little pad, it's brand new. You saw me pull it out fresh, but boy, did it leave me a mess. What about that? I think this one maybe got a little too dry, and so it's kind of flaking apart. That's all right. That's all right. So if you look at this one without the ink, and then you look at this one with the ink, do you see why I like that so much? I think it looks really nice. Okay, so maybe I've got some words that I could put on there. Got some words here. I can see a few crumbs. All right, there we go. What have we got in here? Not mom. I'm not going to add a ticket. This says get inspired. That could be nice. And there's a little star. So get inspired. I like that. And I'm going to get my glue book. Messy enough? Can you figure any of this out? And let's just get some glue stick on this. And I'm going to put it right between the first and second camera. Just like that. Smooth it down. Okay, now, what else can I do with this? Well, remember I told you I did save out some stickles and some pearls. And I'm just going to go around this edge. Now, if I remember right, this kind of squeezes out hard, so I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just working it down to the tip right now. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gonna, whoop, not yet. Ooh, maybe this is further low than I had anticipated. I don't think so. I'm just going to give it a few shakes. Like, you know, like how we used to shake a thermometer. Like that. Now, see if that did anything to help me get this down. Yes, okay, so I'm just going to put some dots. And they're not going to be perfectly spaced, and it really doesn't matter. These details are what can really make a project. Now that first one came out kind of weird. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up. I'm just looking for a scrap of something that I don't want. Here. Well, your trash is right here, Julie. How about that? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna see if I can rescue. There. Okay. Just gonna, there we go. See if I can improve on that. All right. There is my tag. And I like that just fine. I'm going to set it aside to dry because this stuff can take 24 hours to really set. So don't play with it. Just let it go. And after it's dry, it really looks more sparkly. It's really rather cool. All right, we'll do one more. What do you say? So here's just the next one that was in line. Now I've got this ticket, and that's really kind of cool. And it says it's for one free kiss. I'm going to cut it out because I think it's just as fun as can be. And then there's this number, and I don't want to ruin it. I want to cut that number to save it. It's cool. I like adding little numbers to things. And there we go. Which way? This way? Yeah. But I think I'm going to get a little piece of that book page and put it under. Now for this, I do want all of the edges to be tore. Okay. And let's just see if I do something like that. Good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and ink up the edge of that ticket. With the vintage photo. That can really mask any imperfect cutting I did. Just give it a little bit more of an agey look. I like that. I like that real well. So I'm going to take this time my glue stick for this. This needs its lid. Can I see the lid? Yes. I can tell it's getting a little weird. And I'm going to put this like this. And then this guy like that. Get the art glitter glue for this part. Since I added that second lid, my art glitter glue has been not quite so darn fussy, which I'm very grateful for. Okay. This way? This way? How about like that? Yeah, I like that. Yes, I like that just fine. What else? What else? What else? I had that little number. And I think I'm gonna finish cutting it out. And just with whatever ink I've got on here, give it just a little on the edge. Maybe you can't see it, but it's honestly going on there. And little art glitter glue. Put that down here. Okay, I like that. And I'm gonna get this ink out and work around the edge of this. Hopefully not too many crumbs this time. A little bit of crumbs. Okay. I don't want to throw that away. Okay, so we've got this tag done, and then I'll see if I can reach. I want to be careful with the other one. Oh dear. Okay, and there's the other one. So, out of a pizza box, and I'm okay with it. I want people to know that I am repurposing, reusing. Look, those two, they don't really match up, but it's fun. But there, we've got these, and I've got some more. And then I'm going to go ahead and decorate these postcards up. And there we have it. If you found this helpful, educational, useful, please consider leaving me a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.